chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome to ChuggieBets.
Was that a fumble?
So two things. First, it cheapens the experience by debating whether or not it was a fumble.
No, it doesn't, because it
the
was
whole,
not a fumble.
The whole thing is bullshit.
No.
I hate all
Hold
of
on,
it.
forget.
But the second part is, it absolutely was not a fumble.
It was not, because
Rigged.
there's how many body parts have to hit the ground before the ball comes out to make it not a fumble? Like there's a
elbow
knee,
down,
an elbow.
2 more frames, player rips the ball out, but because it's blurry, the ref is like,
maybe the ball was already out when he ripped it.
Then why did he need to rip it out if it was already out?
Anyway,
stupid.
Yeah,
it's so.
I'm going to use the fact that it wasn't a fumble.
Might argue that it was not, that it was the right call, and that lawyer is everything that's wrong with the world today. It's
use the fact that it wasn't a fumble as that Manny made the right call, and he shouldn't have kneeled it because we didn't fumble. The game was over. Manny made the right call.
Still the wrong call.
Nope, right call. We didn't fumble.
No, it's still the wrong call.
No,
I thought Danny.
The ref
Danny,
made the wrong call. The ref made the wrong call. Manny.
I thought you were going to lean into a righteousness thing where it's not right to win a game by taking a knee. You got to play every play to the final whistle and make that kind of argument for Cristobal. But goddamn, that was so awful. It's so awful. First, they get the ball first down, okay, and there's
the take I was actually going to make was Manny Diaz didn't kneel with less than 40 seconds left, and he didn't make the worst call on the field in that moment.
Yeah, he wasn't even on the field. Mario Cristobal is the coach.
Yeah. Sorry, whatever. I've been making that mistake. I've been making that mistake on this podcast over and over and over again. Mario Cristobal. You know what? He actually
look at Matt's face.
He actually wasn't on the field because he was busy recruiting what's his face, Matt, the wide receiver.
Yeah, is that the most Mario Cristobal bullshit of all time? He loses in an embarrassing fashion, and I fucking hate that everyone's coming after the running back for not fumbling the ball. It's not his fault that he was put in a position where he couldn't win. He did his job. He didn't fumble the ball. And then Mario Cristobal does some bullshit. He's like, well, we teach putting 2 hands on the ball. I'm like, motherfucker, it's your fault. Don't do that to that kid.
If only there was some foolproof way to avoid that scenario altogether.
Is Mario Cristobal like an offensive lineman for the Jets back when they fumbled and Herm Edwards picked up the ball and ran it back for a touchdown back in the Meadowlands or whatever?
That must have been a human defining moment for him, and it's been forever emblazoned in his soul, and he just refuses to take a knee. I don't know what it is. He's a monster.
I have a take on this that's slightly different, and that is I wish I didn't have so many friends and family who are huge Miami fans, because this is objectively hilarious.
It's the funniest.
If I don't think about how much it hurts you guys, once I think about that, I'm like, I guess I can't laugh at it. But if I didn't have friends and family that were big Miami fans, it's hilarious.
No, I think I'm kind of numb to the pain, and I can see the humor at this point in my Miami fandom.
I can see that there is humor there, but it is not funny to me.
So a couple things I want to go through. A, he lost a game in embarrassing fashion, and Mario Cristobal ends up signing a 4-star wide receiver that night, which is just a perfect encapsulation.
Exactly who he is. It's exactly who he is.
It's like drying your tears with $100 bills.
Yeah, he is a Jimmy and Joe's guy. He'll never be an X's and O's guy.
We knew that.
I don't feel that bad laughing at it, because the amount of times, and now this is real bad, that I've had Miami fans send me that picture of Trey McKitty, the Florida State wide receiver, tight end, lined up the opposite direction of the play, which is objectively hilarious.
Yeah, and it is hilarious.
Embarrassing.
Yeah,
from the Willie Taggart days.
Look at Madden glitch.
Yeah, I think this is hilarious, because that was also hilarious, and that hurt.
That's one of the top 5 funniest things that's ever happened on a football field. It's up there with butt fumble, but that is.
Well, so is this, honestly. Oh,
no, this
is sadder. This is sadder.
It is sadder.
This is way sadder than any of that, because that didn't you even win that game?
I don't remember. We weren't
Nobody
winning
knows or
games then.
cares. It's just a funny thing that happened playing football.
Yeah.
This is like Bryce Young lining up. That was like Bryce Young lining up behind the guard. Like, that was just fucking funny. Watching his running back push him. Hey, the other guy's gonna snap the ball.
You know who's like two guys have been very lucky to escape any sort of ire from the fan base over this, by the way. That's the offensive coordinator and Tyler Van Dyke, who both were well within their rights to like say, hey, we have this in the bag, take a knee. Or, hey, even though we called a run, I'm just going to knee
First off, you cannot go against the head coach if the head coach calls a play. Two,
well, one, you're assuming that. The offensive coordinator calls plays. You think the offensive coordinator called victory formation and Manny Diaz was like, fuck that, we're running it?
I think
that happened.
Manny Diaz says, fuck you guys, we're never kneeing it in the first place because he's a macho asshole.
I think Manny
lineman guy.
Did we call him Manny Diaz?
No longer coaches Miami, guys.
Mario Cristobal.
Man, Manny Diaz is fucking up.
Did I start that or did Al that time?
You both, but Al started it.
Okay.
Mario Cristobal, I'm pretty sure this is how he coaches. By the way, for you listening,
is this racist?
I'm just staring off into
Mario
space.
Cristobal
I don't think he's mentally there. I think he's just like watching. And the OC was like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna keep running," and no one was like, "Oh hey, we don't have to do this."
It's not great, Danny.
No, it is a little like it's a little bit like, oh, they're different than me, kind of like I'm. Just
honestly,
we
should call him Manny Diaz. We should do it because he's a bad coach.
No, we should.
Don't besmirch Manny Diaz. He's fine. He did nothing wrong to deserve this.
You know what he's doing? He's coaching an amazing defense at Penn State, right?
We should call him. He should become Mario Knee the Ball, right? Going forward, yeah.
Like
all
that.
right. Welcome back to ChuggieBets, everybody. I got Andy above me. I got Al in the corner. I got Danny to the side. Danny's sipping or chugging rosé.
It's been on that rosé. Chug it.
Cheers.
Let's go.
Cheers.
By the way, I have Bowling Green as a 14-point favorite against Miami. You guys taking that? You gonna lay the 14? Are we doing transitive property football?
Show me the girl math on that, Matt.
So,
Hold on. Better than that, Matt.
Green.
Hold on. Better than that. Miami's beat ourselves
Oh,
with the transitive property. Miami has beaten ourselves with the transitive property because we beat Miami, who beat. Hold on. Yeah, we beat Miami, who beat.
Maybe you shouldn't have chugged that rosé.
We've beaten ourselves with the transitive property. We beat Miami, who beat Bowling Green, who beat Miami, right?
Who beat Georgia Tech? Who beat
Miami.
Yeah, there it is.
And then you add some Manny Diaz, and you get happiness. You get happiness there.
Victory formation.
Thank you for completing my transitive property there.
So let's go into the noon games. We're gonna kick it back off. If you guys haven't listened to the last podcast, we gave you like, I don't know, $1,000 worth of winners. We're gonna give you a couple more thousand, but you should definitely go back and listen to that one and give a thumbs up when you're happy when you won all that money, right? But first, let's start off.
It's now time for a moment with Danny.
So, if you can mow your lawn during the noon slate, do it, because the best game at this time, I think, is Ohio State-Purdue, and they're going to just run up the score. So, you got to be done before the 3:30 window. There is like 100 games at 3:30 window, and they're all fantastic. Get that lawn done in that noon slate. And Premier League is awesome this morning, so you want to make sure you're watching those 10 o'clock games.
International break, buddy. International break. But I agree with you. Sleep in. Treat yourself.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's an international break?
It is.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the schedule. Was I looking at the schedule for 3 weeks from now?
Yeah, Chelsea plays Arsenal next week.
It's like a single week off. But I one-upped you, and I found the ideal time to mow my lawn was
They do it in the morning and watch the noon games too.
6 o'clock on Monday afternoon, right after I got home from work.
Ooh.
Oh, you only
So
have a
I'll
little
be
bit more
done.
time for that, bud. We're about to fall back.
So, Al, did you do that time because you're off work and there's football from Tuesday through Sunday?
Well, I did it because I should have done it this past weekend, but we were too busy and I didn't have time.
Fair enough.
So now I can not do it next weekend.
All right. Well, let's talk about games you should skip, but you should definitely bet. We're going to Tallahassee. We got the Orange going into Florida State. Florida State is a 17.5-point dog. You want me to start this off?
Favorite.
I think 17.5 points feels like too many points. Florida State has they've been playing with their food a little bit. Last week, they had the greatest first quarter I have seen from Florida State in a long time. They were up 22-0. And then they kind of fucked around a little bit. And there was some ACC refereeing there that was just a special mind blow that got Virginia Tech back in the game. But that's just me being petty. And then Florida State ran the ball. They got back to it. But I think Florida State's going to get back to establishing the run. I don't think they're going to be passing as much like they did this week, killing Jordan Travis's Heisman chance, but they ran for like 400, 300 yards. So take the points with Syracuse plus 17.5. It'd probably be a 17-point win. It's going to be right around that number would be my guess.
Okay. I just want to point out that this is Sunshine's ChuggieBet this week, over 56.5 in Syracuse, Florida State.
I'm following on this with the Cuse plus 17.5, mostly because I just think it's a lot of points, and Florida State's had trouble finishing games recently. So I think that I want Florida State to finish this, but that's a lot of points.
It is.
Can you say finish one more time?
Finish.
Slower.
So, I love this pick. Syracuse plus the 17.5. I actually showed value on this, but I didn't want to go over 50 picks this week, and I didn't want to go against the family. Turns out Matt's going against his own family, so I could have done it. But
look, man,
I'll leave it off the card.
I'm fine losing this bet. I hope you know that. Like, if we win by 50, I don't give a shit about the one unit, the small unit I'm going to put out there for you boys. Yeah. Let's go to a game you should absolutely not watch. You should, if you don't have a lawn, you should go find someone else's lawn and mow it during Iowa State Cincinnati, because no one needs to watch this. Al, what are you doing here?
So, funnily enough, I have a sneaking suspicion this is actually going to be an entertaining finish.
Okay.
So, maybe by 3 o'clock, check in on this one. I'm going to take 5.5 points with Iowa State here. They have been sneakily decent, like not good, but like not bad either. And Cincinnati has been sneakily actually not good. So I think this is a much more evenly matched game than you might read on first glance. So I'm going to take the 5.5 points on the road, Iowa State. I think it'll come down to last possession kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on it, Al. I'm taking Iowa State plus the 5.5 as well. Agree with everything you said, but to add on to that, this is Cincinnati's first year playing with the big boys, if you will, and week after week of playing in a Power 5 conference is not the same as week after week playing in a Group of 5 conference. So they're going to get worse as the season goes, I think, because their bodies just aren't used to it.
I think points are going to be a premium at this game. Iowa State has been showing signs of life recently. I think you guys are on the right side. I'm not taking Emory Jones to be a 5.5 point favorite ever at Cincinnati. He stinks. But I think the play I'm going to go is under 50. I don't see points coming fast and furious in this. This feels like a Big Ten style game where it's going to be a lot more field position, and minimizing risk. So I'm going under 50.
I'm going to jump on that with you, bud.
I did not know Emory Jones was at Cincinnati, that's one of the things of college football. It's just so many teams and so many players and so many moving parts that it's, halfway through the season, you're still finding things out.
I feel like Iowa State's going to pull out their best Iowa impression in this game.
Yeah, I think they'll win. I like Iowa State too. Like, if I'm going to play a money line here, this is a good money line to look at. This feels like a real sneaky good money line. And to Andy's point, it's hard to play in a Power 5 conference. Ask UCF giving up 400 yards rushing to Kansas the other day. It's tough. It's tough to play these games all the time.
Ask Miami. They've been in one for over a decade and haven't won it.
You know what's crazy? Mario Cristobal has not won a home game.
Diaz.
Manny Diaz 2.0 has not won an ACC home game yet. It's like a mind blow. Like,
that's
sorry.
Hilarious. One last note before we move on is I like your under because it is Brocktober, but Brock Purdy is in the NFL beating the shit out of the Cowboys, and he is not in Iowa State. So I like
this sneaky good, crazy good Brock Purdy. We got a little family fight coming up here in which should be a freaking great game. This is probably the best game of the noon window. Georgia Southern going to James Madison. James Madison has been a fucking wagon. They're dog walking people, and they're good. They should be ranked this week, and they're not. And that's a shame because Kentucky's still ranked. That's dumb. Lay the 3.5 with James Madison. Sunshine is supporting his Georgia Southern team, the boys from Statesboro. I think it's great. He's
been working
taking
for him.
3.5 points.
To his credit, he's like 10-1 on his betting his Georgia teams. So
I think on this one he's like 3-1 or 4-1 or something. It's been good.
He's 4-1 till he's 4-2. Let's go, Dukes.
James Madison's pretty good. James Madison's pretty good. I think they're better than Georgia Southern. I think he's hoping to cover it though.
Yeah, he's got a good system.
I actually almost took James Madison too, but I saw Sunshine was already on Georgia Southern, and I felt like it would be picking on him to take James Madison. So
sorry, I guess I bet against Florida State to throw off Andy. I bet against Georgia Southern to throw off Sunshine. I just saw where the value was. I like these picks. Michigan State going to the birthplace of football.
Rutgers. Did you see value on this, Andy?
Yeah. Yeah, I had these teams rated pretty much evenly, which means you give Rutgers a couple points home field advantage. That gets you to 2 or 3. I can't get to 5.5. So obviously,
I can't get to 5.5 total. I can't get to 5.5 total. So I took under 40.5.
I'll be thrilled if this game ends 3-2. I've got no problem with that.
Yeah, I know. This game was literally why I decided we should mow our lawns at noon.
alt under 5.5 plus 9,000.
I didn't even know Premier League was on break, and I was like, we're still mowing our lawns at noon because nobody needs to see Michigan State Rutgers.
No one does. Dana, you're going under 40.5, right?
Yeah, under 40.5.
Cool.
Actually, if you are somewhere on Saturday and the Michigan State Rutgers game is on, physically leave that place and go mow your lawn. Or see if your buddy needs his lawn mown.
Find any lawn. Go mow like a municipal park for a little bit. They'll love the support. They need it. Let's go Navy Charlotte, 2 p.m. Andy, what you doing?
I'm laying the points with Navy. I support our troops. So laying the points with Navy.
Oh, you're going to really hate a pick later than I have.
I like this pick, Andy. I almost made it too.
I like it too. Charlotte is bad.
Navy hasn't been bad though.
What's up?
Right, which is why the line is confusing to me. Yeah. I feel like it should be double digits, and it's not.
Yeah.
Let's go Toledo Ball State. Andy, what are you doing again?
Taking the points. Hey, I laid points in the last one. All right. I have a couple of favorites on here, but I am taking Ball State plus 17. They're not as good as Toledo, but 17 is a big number.
All right, fair enough.
I love playing points, but I think Toledo's going to cover this, but I didn't. I'm trying to keep my picks low because I'm so bad at this. Trying to stay behind than everybody else.
Let's talk about the big game of the weekend at 3:30. You got Oregon and the Bo Nixes going into Washington to get a taste of that Penix. I am really interested to watch this game play out. I have no idea what's going to happen. My thought is Washington is better, but I don't know. I'm really excited. This is like outside of the Red River rivalry last week. This is like the second most exciting game to watch that it doesn't involve my team. This is going to be a great one. Anyone have thoughts? And you can go on your picks and whatnot, but.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, naturally, I think everyone's going to assume this one's going to be a barn burner, right? Like it's going to be like a 42-45 kind of thing. Not me. I'm going to take the under 67.5. So I'm hoping for a couple turnovers, couple punts, and keep it under 67.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this one. I think it's really fitting that in the last year of the Pac-12 as we know it, like so many of these teams are so much fun to watch. I think it's awesome. I'm just soaking in every moment of it. I almost wish this was at like 10 o'clock. It feels a little early. I've taken Oregon plus the 2.5. I agree with Matt. I don't really know what's going to happen, but if you're giving me points, I'm going to take them.
This 3:30 window, I'm going to need like 9 TVs, but I don't have a pick for this right now, but I'm going to be looking at props because I like overs for both quarterbacks, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. If you guys haven't played Prize Picks yet, that thing is addictive. I stink where you can just partner props up and then you get like plus 300, plus 400, and you can do it via Venmo. Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. I don't need to send it to Latvia anymore in this state of Florida, but it's real fun. You should probably get involved in that.
Yeah, it's like prop picks, right?
Yeah, it's only prop picks. So you have to like bet fantasy points, and there's a promo code will match up to $100. I'll give it to you after this. Let's see. Texas A&M at Tennessee. Andy, I'm going to let you drive for a second. Go through your next few games.
Yeah, I've got the next 3 picks since I've got 6,000 picks this week. But surprisingly, I'm actually laying points in the next 2. Texas A&M at Tennessee. I'm laying the 3 with Tennessee. And
Love
then BYU, TCU. I'm laying the points with TCU. TCU's been getting a lot of hate, and some of it's deserved.
I
But
almost picked BYU.
BYU's just not the same as on the road, though. You know, they have that big home field advantage, and
all the not white people that they have to encounter.
Yeah, it's scary for them to venture outside Utah. Yeah. And then Illinois playing Maryland. Illinois looks so bad on Friday night. So bad. I was very depressed. I was texting the guys. I had to drown my sorrows a little bit.
It was bad, bud. It was bad.
I know. It was. Illinois is the worst team in the Big Ten, right? Like, I don't even think it's close.
Indiana?
Yeah, maybe Indiana.
Minnesota did put up 10 on Michigan, so they have the best offense in the Big Ten.
Like, Illinois is worse than Northwestern.
Northwestern has Big Ten wins. We haven't won a Big Ten game, and we might not.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but 14 points is still too much.
So TCU's. We're talking about TCU still right here.
No, but yeah.
No, we're on big Illinois, Maryland.
That's okay. We can go back to TCU. What's up?
So I just wanted to mention that their spreads were like after that Colorado lost, it moved hard the other direction, and then their last 2 they didn't cover because they had moved so hard the other way. So I think it's going to go back. So I like that pick. Was my point. Illinois, I don't like this pick. They look so bad.
I mean,
Maryland's kind of a wagon. They did. I think they lost last week, right?
Yeah, they lost on a wagon. They're like a rusty wagon missing a wheel, maybe.
They were tied with Ohio State at like halftime, I think. Wasn't it like 17-17 at halftime? And then Ohio State pulled away. But I mean, Maryland's good and Illinois is not. But in that Nebraska game, just literally everything that could go wrong did. So obviously it was terrible.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a better defensive showing from Illinois this week.
Yeah, they were worse on Friday than what their talent level should be. So, and I think I'm getting an inflated number here because of that. So
the next game we've got is Florida at South Carolina, which is a sneaky fun game. Typically,
it is.
It's going to be on here, obviously, being in Jacksonville, Gator country. I didn't have confidence enough to make a play on the spread, but I really like the under here, under 51.5. I think the Gators in a road game, I think the Gators are capable of winning. I think they pull their opponents down to their level of competition instead of rising to the opponent. So I think we'll see a low scoring affair here.
That sounds about right. Both South Carolina's offensive line has been bad, and Rattler's been pretty good. So it's like one of those things. Like I don't know what part of the seesaw is going to fail first, right? Like, is Rattler going to die? Is the offensive line going to get better? I don't know.
Yeah,
there's a give and take there. Oh man, this game, Wake Forest with the craziest result of last weekend. No, I guess the Georgia Tech game was weirder, but Wake Forest only losing by 5 to Clemson is weird, right? Can we all go on board? That was odd. Andy, what are you doing here?
It wasn't odd if you had plus 12 or whatever I had.
Plus 21. Plus 21.
21, even better. It was fantastic because it was never even in doubt. I'm taking Wake Forest plus 1.5.
Virginia Tech stinks. They're not good. They're not good. Wake Forest is less not good, I think. Agreed. Is the logic there.
Agreed. So, yes. Thank you.
This is a stinker, guys, and we have a bunch of bets here. And I have an extra special bet that I'm not going to do as a chuggy bet, but I'm also going to let you know about it. We've got UMass going into Penn State. Andy, I know you're not playing this, but do you have thoughts on this game?
Yeah, my numbers showed value on Penn State laying the points, and it is
How many points?
42.5. My model is allergic to laying more than like 6 points. I don't think I've ever had it come back and tell me that there was value laying more than 6 points, and it shows value laying the 42.5. I'm not going to do it. It's just, it goes against my religion.
You know what it
But-
goes? You know whose religion it goes for? Mine. I love laying big points, especially against Massachusetts. It's like all of my favorite bets all wound up into one. So I am laying your 42.5 points, Andy. Thank you.
Perfect.
So the totals
Yeah.
Somebody's got to make some money on your system if you're not going to.
the totals at 58. Where the fuck are they going to get 58 points in this game? So my fear is Penn State will score 58 points.
Yeah, they could score 70. They could get 10 touchdowns in this game.
I know. So it's a dangerous play. A play I also like, and you get plus money on, is UMass under 6.5 points in this game.
Manny
That's
Diaz
super
is a
scary.
very good coach.
That's yeah. Mario Cristobal, their defensive coordinator, is really good. No, it's a dangerous play because it leaves the back door wide open. You're never going to rest easy unless it's scored early and you can just move on. But I like under 58 here. I think this is going to be a 49-0 game, 50-0 game.
Under 6.5. That's a real like fucking.
It's
rush.
hilarious, and I
It's a
love
real
it.
rush.
I love it so much.
And you get plus
Literally
plus
any
125.
play you could lose your bet on,
Mhm.
but it's a smart play because it probably won't hit.
Like
Or
the
probably
referees
will hit.
could take that from you, you know?
I know. I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna put it on here because I have to. I'm here for the lulz.
That's so funny.
I like
Let's
to
go
gamble,
play
too.
Army. Andy and I are against each other here. And
Sorry,
Andy's supporting the
Danny.
troops,
Just to
not
confirm,
shitting on them.
you're laying it with Penn State, or you're taking.
Yeah, I'm
points?
laying the 42. No, I am not taking points with Mass. That is not my system. It is fade Massachusetts. I made a lot of money for a lot of years fading Massachusetts, and then I stopped for some reason. I don't know why.
They got a little better.
Yeah, they won like their first 2 games or something. Probably scared you off.
Andy, what are you doing in Army? And why am I a bad American?
Because I'm taking the points and supporting the troops. Army +5.
My
Yeah.
brother's going to be so mad at you, Matt.
Okay, he can be mad. Troy's really good. If you guys haven't watched, some of these Sun Belt
I've
teams are
watched.
not to be trifled with, and Troy is one of them. They're good. They're a lot better than Army at football. Nothing else, right?
Yeah, but Army doesn't play football. They play option.
Yeah,
They
so
play run. They play run. They play rugby.
They only
do
play. They
rugby.
only play half football.
So all my numbers, everything I looked at says Troy is like a 9-point favorite in this game, and I have to take it. So
Yeah.
I'm laying the 4.5 with Troy, and we'll go from there. Akron at Central Michigan. Andy, what are you doing here?
I'm going over in this one. We have an ongoing argument on the pod of when 2 bad teams play. What do? Do you go over or under? And at least at this exact moment, I'm on the over side. We're going over 45 in Akron, Central Michigan.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Andy. 2 bad teams are playing. One is not 13 points better than the other team. So I'm going to take the points of Akron. That's too many points, man. That's too many points for 2
The
bad teams.
directional
Tell you what,
Michigan
it
are not
hasn't been
having
too
a
many
good
points
year.
many times. There's been lots of times this season where Akron
Oh.
has not had too many points. They've had
No, I know. This could be a really bad play.
inappropriate
I
amount of
understand.
points.
I was
But
looking
lucky
for
them,
my,
they're playing a directional Michigan team.
I was looking for my too many points Mac play of the week, which is something I've been doing, and this just screamed at me that I had to play it. So, speaking of Maction, Bowling Green State. I love that we specified this from last week's conversation of where the hell is Bowling Green. We
This
spent
is
5 minutes.
Ohio, not Western Kentucky Bowling Green. This is Ohio Bowling Green.
Okay, so Bowling Green State's going into Buffalo. Andy, what are you doing?
I'm going over again. Because when 2 bad
Andy, I
teams
just
play,
want you to run through your Mac picks. I'm going to clear the hell out. You got a bunch of them in a row.
I do have a bunch in a row. Bowling Green State, Buffalo over 47.5. Miami of Ohio, the U, if you will, at Western Michigan, Western Michigan +8.5, and then Ohio at Northern Illinois. This one it's funny because I pulled up my spreadsheet and it said there's value at 7, And I pulled up the first book and it said 6.5. And I said, oh, thank God. And then I pulled up the second book and it said 6.5. And I said, thank God. And then I pulled up the third book and it said 7. And I had to bet it. So I don't like this one. It's probably my least favorite pick of the week, but I am taking Northern Illinois Huskies +7.
Man, Andy, you're going to be living life in the 3:30 window here, man. You got 4
I know.
different MAC games.
You're gonna have to
betting
go to
all
Buffalo.
overs and dogs. You're going to be having the time of your life.
You're gonna have to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and have them put on every quad box so you can watch all these games.
That's the plan.
Andy, you're going to be betting 12 games simultaneously if you include the 5 p.m. games. That's a lot.
Glorious. Glorious. The only way I feel alive.
Well, let's go to the Big Ten West. And honestly, like all jokes aside, this is a game that actually matters for the Big Ten West race. We got Iowa going into what is Wisconsin? Camp Randall. Going into Camp Randall. And we got a
You're
family
good, man.
pick here. I know I was gonna call it the Big House. I'm like, no, that's not it.
That's Michigan.
Camp Randall. And they're gonna be jumping around and shit. But we're all going Iowa +10. Look, let me start off. Last podcast we talked about Deacon Hill's game against Purdue. Bad game against Purdue. The problem here is they don't have to have a good game from their offense to keep a game close. And 10 points feels like a shit ton against Iowa. So I am taking the 10 points against Iowa. I hate every moment of it, but it seems like the right play. Anyone else got something else to add?
I mean, this is like a legitimate cyclone, right?
Yeah.
We haven't had one of these for a while. The only thing I have to add is we should make a little side bet here on what Deacon Hill or whatever the guy's name is, his completion percentage is at the end of this one, or how many passes he completes to receivers this week.
Oh, I will set the receiver number at 1.5, and let's say 45. This feels like too many completions. But yeah, I'm in for that. I'll set
Under on the completion percentage. What was it last week? Like 25? I think it was like 20. He had like a 20-something percent.
6 of 22. Yeah, a little over 25.
Yeah. I'm going to say over on the receivers' completions. I'm saying he at least completes 2 passes to receivers this week.
Yeah, I agree.
All
but
right.
not many more than that.
And
Ooh.
if I remember correctly, our Cyclone
I'm also
record last
on
year,
this with you guys. I don't know if you already said that, by the way.
Yeah, it's a family pick.
Yeah. Our Cyclone record last year, we haven't had a lot of them this year, but it was fantastic. It was like 9-2 or something. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go. I'm going to add Chris on this. I'm going to just make Chris bet this too. Chris is in on +10, and I'll eat his L. I'll double L if we lose, just so we can Cyclone. Ooh, a battle for the Silver State. Everyone get ready. We got Las Vegas going to the greatest small town in America in Reno. Andy, what are you doing?
Taking Nevada plus the points. It's my 4th game in a row taking the points, but I've made a lot of money betting on Nevada plus the points this year. They have not won a lot of games, but they have covered a ton of games. They're also coming off a bye. I was very sad I didn't get to bet on Nevada last week, but I made money like 3 or 4 straight weeks before that. So Nevada plus the 10.
Yeah, I really want to follow you on this. I'm not gonna, but why the hell is UNLV a double-digit favorite?
I think they're 5-1. I think they've been really good this year as a team, UNLV. And Nevada hasn't, to Andy's point, Nevada hasn't been particularly good, but they've been good against the spread.
Yeah.
Right.
And they've been good in recent years, so I wonder if it's just like a finding their footing thing. But
well, Jay Norvell went to Colorado State a couple years ago, and Nevada was awful last year. So that makes a big difference. Oh, man, I love the Mountain West. Look at me talking Mountain West football without even reading notes. Holy shit! They haven't been the same team since Jay Norvell left to Colorado State. But sure, I'm probably going to join here. Louisville Pitt. We talked about Louisville last podcast, how I think they could they could be in the ACC championship, and I don't want them to be because I don't think they're ready yet, and I don't like anything about it. So, Al, what are you doing here?
Yeah, so full caveat here. Do not just blindly bet this. I want to fully inform you of the decision you'll be making if you're tailing me here. I'm taking Pitt plus 8.5. Pitt's really bad. Like, they're bad, but Pat Narduzzi he coaches really good defenses, and Pitt's defense is okay this year, but I don't know. I think this is going to be like a get up game. I think it's a letdown spot for Louisville. Also, Louisville they're 5-0, right? 3 of their
6-0.
wins
6-0.
6-0. Okay, 3 of their wins are by a combined 15 points. Like the hype train is a little high on here. We're not talking about like wins over like good good schools where they're winning by 3, winning by 5, whatever it is.
Not Notre Dame or anything.
Like NC State, well, I mean, yeah, well, obviously they beat Notre Dame. That's a big one, right? But that's exactly why this line is where it's at. So, Pitt plus 8.5. I think this one is going to be a surprise.
I like it, actually. I didn't realize the number was 8.5. I thought it was going to be like a 6-point spread. So this does feel like a bit of a letdown spot because the emotions were so high last week. Going on the road to that big-ass stadium, Heinz Field, Acura, whatever the hell it's called now. I kind of dig this pick. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. It's the kind of thing I like to bet the number gets inflated because of how Louisville looked last week.
Thank you, guys. I'll take solace in that when Louisville wins by 40.
Yeah. We're like, what an idiot. Thank God we didn't bet that. This
you guys
is a bet I don't
remember
love.
when Virginia Tech, who's 2-4, just beat Pitt 38-21, right?
Yeah, no, I know. I remember.
Remember?
Let's go to
just throw that out there.
Let's go to the real Tiger Stadium. Forget what Clemson says. This is the real one. We got Auburn, the Tigers, going into LSU. The Tigers. What Tiger's going to come out victorious here, Andy?
I saw Tigers.
The ones that are also War Eagles somehow?
Correct. They're Bird Tigers.
Go Tigers, War Eagle, toilet paper.
You guys are so wrong about this pick. I just have too many picks.
No, I like Auburn. I think LSU is better. I rank it somewhere like around LSU plus 6.5 or 7. So I'm getting through a key number of 10. I'll take the 11.
Yeah, but are you factoring in the fact that like Jaden Daniels is awesome?
Football Jesus.
Thank you, RG3. Oh my God, did RG3 say that tonight? Did you guys see this? Sorry, we'll talk about the NFL podcast. He dropped a doozy of a fuck word on live television, and it was hilarious. Come back to the NFL podcast. We'll talk about that. This number scares the hell out of me. It is the right play according to everything I've looked at, but I hate it. But I have to do it because like playing games in Baton Rouge scare me because it can get away from you really quick. But
especially when you're Auburn and you're not that good.
Yeah, I know.
But LSU has no defense. So.
Yeah,
that's true, and their defense is way worse on the road.
Well, Auburn hung with Bama. Or Georgia, rather. So,
who I'm about to say is also not that good.
The next game, Sunshine's on Georgia State. Marshall at Georgia State over 55. So, if you're keeping tabs, that is a play on a team in the state of Georgia. You might want to tail Sunshine on that one.
Yeah.
Been good.
All right, Andy, take us. Texas State has been a delight this year. They kind of ran into Louisiana last week, which I told you, Louisiana, I need you to win this game, and you did. And I appreciate that because if not, I was going to abandon you forever. So Louisiana Monroe, Texas State. Andy, what are you doing?
I'm taking the points. 16.5 is just too many, so I'll take the 16.5 with ULM.
Texas State's had a really good offense, and this is not a knock on Texas State's offense. It's more of a knock on Louisiana Monroe being bad. I'm taking under 62. It's way too many points. It should be in like the low 50s in this game. Love under 62 in this game. So
you guys seem like you're on the same side here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just betting in different ways.
Yeah, if it's under 62, it certainly helps the chances.
Yeah, no, Texas State is really good, and Louisiana Monroe is not good. So I think you could be right with 16.5. That seems like a fair number in the game. Let's go to Chapel Hill.
Before we skip the next one, I like the Wyoming line, but I support the troops, so I'm not betting it.
Okay.
Unlike
Wyoming's
somebody.
good. This is actually a really good game. Both teams have been freaking great this year. Wyoming and Air Force are awesome. This is a game you should watch.
Wyoming's getting a bunch of points too.
They're not in Laramie. Those games in Laramie get real weird. So
Yeah.
it's going to be in Fort Collins, right? Wherever Air Force is. Let's go to Chapel Hill. This game is, look, everyone's talking about Miami last week. Let's just throw that in the dumpster. I don't
10 and a
think
half,
that's
by
going
the
to.
way. It was 10 and a half. Just
10 and a half? Damn. Yeah, I feel like you got to look at Wyoming there. I didn't realize it was that much. Let's talk, but Miami's going into North Carolina. North Carolina's been really good this year. Miami's been really good too. That game was a weird game on Saturday. Like the whole thing, the uniforms were awesome, but they were also weird. It was one of those things. I love the helmet, the neon light helmet. I thought was so dope.
Dude, our jerseys were the best part of that game. It was absolute, dude. You got to. I was telling Missy to get one for me for Christmas or something because like I might just buy one for myself now.
Okay, I'm gonna have here's your boomer take of the week. If you have an iconic jersey, don't fuck with it, right? Like Miami has an iconic jersey, has an iconic look. I don't think you need to be Oregon.
I don't know, man. The Heat have a jersey,
They've
but like those.
fucked with it so much, and like they're always strikeouts.
Yeah, this is literally the best one they've ever done.
It was so dope.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
That helmet was the dopest shit I've ever seen. But Miami has like just a cool ass jersey. When you see Miami, right? Like you're like, oh, Miami's here. Like I don't think you need to fuck with it.
Remember when we had Adidas unis? They were always awful.
So bad.
Yeah, no,
they were so bad. These jerseys were really, really cool.
I'm gonna say my pick, and then Al, you can make a smarter pick. This is just a vibes play. I want that note on the front end. This is just a vibes play. I think Miami is being undervalued here. I think Miami can hang with North Carolina. I think they're super talented, and I think they may have been looking ahead past Georgia Tech for this game a little bit against Drake May. Just something in me feels, not the numbers, just something in me feels that it's a plus 3.5. Miami is the right play here. I think this game is going to be really fun to watch. I am taking Miami.
I don't know. I think Miami may have been figured out. You've got a bad pass defense. You've got a great quarterback in Drake May. Mm-hmm. That's a combination that's going to be hard for Miami to keep pace with, especially when they've got the offense they've been putting out. So obviously Miami can run the ball. That seems to be proven. Yeah. So it's really the only way Miami wins this game or covers is rushing for 200 yards, I think. I don't think they're going to do much through the air. I think honestly, I don't think they're going to score much at all. I think this is going to be an ugly one. I think UNC wins by a good amount. So I'm taking UNC minus 3.5. I'm also taking under 55.5. I could see this thing being, 38-17. Maybe less than that.
You're getting hooked. You're winning by the hook. No, go ahead.
So two things real quick, Al. First, when you say that you think Miami's been figured out, is that you let them have a very small lead with a very small amount of time left and then strip the ball? Is that how they've been figured out? Like, because now people on Manny Diaz won't take a knee.
I don't think Tyler Van Dyke. I don't know if something's wrong with him physically or if he's just making a lot of bad decisions with the ball in his hand. But
the first game he made bad decisions. You're overreacting.
I think all of it feels like a big overreaction. Miami didn't lose that game in a bad.
They should have. That's the thing is like that. They didn't like fumble the game away. They did literally fumble the game away, but they should have lost that game. They were lucky to have been in that position where they could have just taken a knee.
No, dude, statistically, you guys are so much better. You had like 300 more yards of offense. You smothered Georgia Tech.
We just turned the ball over.
How many points is a yard worth, Matt?
Tyler Van Dyke turned the ball over in bad spots, which is not something he normally does.
It wasn't even like, I trust my guy throws. He was straight up just like throwing it to the wrong team. They were very ugly interceptions, every single one of them.
They were. And I also think Miami's wide receivers, while Restrepo's really good, I think they were a little overhyped with George and everyone else out there. Everyone was like,
George is good.
they're fine, right? Restrepo's good.
No,
right?
I think Matt was saying they were like too excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they beat a bad Texas A&M team. I'm sorry, a bad Texas A&M cornerback combination. They're bad on the defensive backside, boy. And the Milroe game proved exactly that. Like he was lighting them up.
But we also don't play well in Chapel Hill anyway. We always
but North Carolina blows these spots. This is like a historic spot where North Carolina can't.
All right, I got something to ask you guys. If any of you guys know anything about this, because I was at the game and I didn't get any news or anything. I know Cam Kitchens was supposed to play in the Georgia Tech game. He didn't play a ton of snaps. He did play some.
He messed up the last play of the game. Cam Kitchens is the one who got burnt on that final throw.
Okay. Well,
he broke a couple passes.
He's making tackles, and he didn't make a single tackle in the game. So I don't think he played a ton of snaps. He was definitely in on that last play. So
he had a big pass breakup in the
he was back. He was healthy again.
Got the ball back
and so he's going to be playing in this North Carolina game.
I think so.
I would assume so.
So I was asking because I wasn't sure if
Did anybody else lose, Danny? Or?
Yeah, I lost him. Buddy, you there?
Can't hear you, bud. Wiggle your cord. Jiggle it.
I'm back.
Harder.
I was having a commercial tell me about. I don't even want to tell you guys. It was
porn.
It was erotic.
Porn octopus.
It wasn't porn. It was about my endowment and how it needs to be changed.
So targeted ads.
Yeah.
So this game for me is just like the FSU game we started off with. My model showed value on UNC laying the 3.5, but I had too many picks and I didn't want to go against the family. And then here's Al betting against his team. So I guess I should have just done it. Fuck the family. But,
common theme this week.
No, the numbers. Yes, I see the numbers. I also think Miami didn't mess that. Like, yes, you had to win a tough game. You didn't play your best game, and you should have won it. And you're getting penalized for that. I'm going to take the value on Miami. I'm going to roll the dice on this one.
That's fair.
It's a vibes play. Let's go to another really fun matchup. You got USC going into Notre Dame. USC has been a damn roller coaster, and Notre Dame has been doing nothing but getting worse on offense every week. I don't know what to do with any of this, but I'm glad Andy and Danny do. Andy, what are you doing here?
I'm going over 61 because USC is going to get theirs. I don't care what defense they're playing, USC is going to score. And USC's defense is the perfect get-right spot for Sam Hartman and this Notre Dame offense. Like, they'll give points to anybody. So over 61, I think this one goes over by halftime or third quarter at the latest.
I'm with you on the over. I think it's a great pick. I also, the pick that I'm giving out here, because I refuse to tell Andy on too many picks because I don't want to mush him, is I'm taking Notre Dame -2.5. I don't think Sam Hartman's going to keep playing. I mean, he's not playing poorly. He's just not like playing up to his par. And I think he's gonna have a real big, huge breakout game here against one of the worst defenses in big time college football.
He needs it.
Yep.
He does. Yeah, I want Notre Dame to be better, which is weird to say. I really want this to be a fun game.
It's so weird. You know why it is? They have so much handsome on their sideline. We want them to do better.
It's true.
Yeah. I want Marcus Freeman to stay around, I guess. That's the right way to put it.
It is.
You know what? Because he's probably in dangerous. He's on Tyrone Willingham location, and I'm going to put that statement out there, and you do what you want with that.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, he got fired quick. NC State versus Duke. Now, this is a weird game. I do not like NC State. They moved on from Brendan Armstrong, which was probably the right decision. They've been booing that guy all year, the Virginia transfer, and they went to MJ Morris, who last time I saw him could not throw the ball against Florida State. I know Duke doesn't have Riley Leonard, but I also think Duke has a pretty good team in general. They're like a bunch of fifth years, a bunch of seniors, really, really seasoned. I think there's value at Duke laying the 3.5, and that's what I'm going to do, even without Riley Leonard.
I'm with you, but I'm laying these with Duke too. I think that their defense is really what's been carrying this team, and I think that they'll have enough on offense even without. Riley Leonard's the name for the team because really you look at a team that when the defense is. I mean, think of who did you know on the Georgia teams that won back-to-back national championships?
Defensive players.
No.
Or
Who did you know?
What's his name? Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett is who you knew, right? So even though Riley Leonard is a very good quarterback, he's not really at the top of any statistical categories. He's good and he's exciting to watch. He runs around a little bit. He's athletic. He makes accurate throws, but he's not like an elite pro prospect the way a lot of these other guys are. And I think that team is just a really good team is why they're being successful. It's not Riley Leonard is why they're successful. So I think that they're going to keep playing well. And I think losing your quarterback, people are overreacting to it and giving Duke a way too small of a line against a pretty poor NC State team.
Yeah, and I don't want to belabor this point, but I think you're right, Danny. I think Riley Leonard makes them a top 15 team, somewhere around there. I think without Riley Leonard, they're an incredibly competitive ACC team, but they won't be in the top 25. And I think that's a perfect position to play NC State, who doesn't belong anywhere close to there.
So what I just heard was a very accurate explanation for why you should take the under, not lay the points with Duke. So I'm taking under 46.5. Pretty much everything you guys just said. I'm not willing to chance laying points with an unproven quarterback, a quarterback I've never seen play. So I do think Duke's defense will show up, and if their quarterback isn't very good, then that's two bad offenses that we'll watch and they won't score 46.
So NC State, they're sitting at 4-2, right? You think, oh, that's actually a decent team, but they lost to UConn, not a good team. They lost
beat UConn, thank buddy.
Okay, they beat UConn, but they beat them by 10. They lost to Notre Dame by 20. Notre Dame has not had great showings yet this year. That's one of their better wins, actually. They crushed VMI. Okay, whatever. They just eked out a win against Virginia. And then their best showing is actually a 10-13 loss to Louisville. And then they had a 48-41 win against Marshall, which if they're actually a good team, you should be beating Marshall by more than 7. You can't give up 41 points to Marshall and say you're a good team. It's kind of
they covered that spread for what it's worth because I was on that Marshall hard last week. But yes,
yeah,
I agree.
That over hit for sure.
Yeah,
I guarantee you it wasn't set at 89.
No, it was not. All right, let's finish this up, boys. We got UAB going to UTSA. Andy, what are you doing here?
So I don't know if any of you guys watched that UAB game this past weekend. Probably not. You shouldn't have. But I did because I was on UAB plus a bunch of points, and they absolutely ran away with it. Their uniforms were incredible. If you haven't seen them, Google the uniforms UAB was wearing.
Oh, against USF, right?
Yeah. They boat raced them.
I couldn't tell which team was which for like
there was
5
a little
minutes.
bit of that, yes. But once I figured out which team was wearing the awesome uniforms, I figured out it was the one I had bet on, and they were boat racing them, and it was awesome. I am taking UAB plus the 9.5. They probably won't be wearing the awesome jerseys anymore, but 9.5 is still too many points.
Okay.
If nobody has thoughts there, I'll keep us rolling.
No, keep rolling.
Yeah.
Because these guys have their last pick on an 8 p.m. game. They want you in bed by 10:30 or 11 like your grandma. I'm going to give you picks at 9:45 and 11, all right? At 9:45, Boise State is playing Colorado State. What do we always say when two bad teams play each other?
Take the under.
Take the under. Under 61.5.
Hold on. To be clear, I just want my slate clean so that I could be watching a little bit of playoff baseball at this time.
Got it. That's fair. So under 61.5 in Boise State, Colorado. And then San Diego State, Hawaii. I'm taking Hawaii plus 6. I actually show that this is like the exact right number, so not a ton of value here. But again, I'm giving you these picks at 11 p.m. when these jabronis are watching something called baseball. I think my grandpa told me about that once. Hawaii plus 6 at 11.
It's great with the Werther's original. Like, it's a perfect combination.
And no air conditioning.
When you got
You're
your nightcap
literally
on.
describing my summer this year, buddy.
All right. Well, it's been 54 minutes. Why don't we do our chuggy bets, boys? Al, what are you doing here, bud?
Yeah, so many good picks. I'm not sure which one I want to go with. I think I'm going to do under 51.5 Florida, South Carolina.
Okay. Andy, what are you doing here, bud?
I'm sticking with what's been working for me the last couple of weeks. I've gone with Nevada, and they've hit. So I'm sticking with Nevada plus 10.
The battle for the Silver State. Danny,
Right.
what are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do Sunshine. Sunshine was on over 56.5 in Syracuse, Florida State.
Yep.
Danny, what are you doing?
Duke. That's my favorite pick of
Duke.
the week. Yeah.
Laying the 3.5. I like it. I am going to go with Akron plus 13. Way too many points in a bad game. So that is going to be my call. Anything else we want to get to? Nah.
Oh, by the way, Riley Leonard still might play.
Oh,
his
is he? He's back?
His status is still up in the air.
Nah,
It was just a sprain. He didn't break that ankle. So
He's not
Great
playing.
joke.
if it comes out,
it's only been 2 weeks.
if it comes
But,
out that he's
I mean,
playing
it's
on a
possible,
Thursday,
but-
that line is going to shoot in the other direction.
Yeah. He plays Florida State next week. I'd be curious to see if Riley Leonard's back for that. He may try to stay healthy for that game. So that would
Yeah,
be
'cause they're-
that makes
they
the
can
game
beat
a
it.
lot more fun.
They can beat NC State without him. And
Yeah.
yeah, playing Riley Leonard is more fun than not playing him.
Makes it much more fun to bet on. It's going to make it a much more entertaining game. Well, hey guys, it's been a pleasure. Please feel free to like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell your mom. She's going to love this. She's going to really like this podcast. It's right for her. If nothing else, good night, Joey.
Good night, Matt.
Good night, Kent.
Good night, Steven.